4-month-old baby entered the 5th month of life, wants to know everything that happens to your baby, the vaccines he needs to take, developmental milestones, how to properly stimulate, and 11. Special tip for you, you know what? Stay with me and I'll tell you. Hello, I'm Monica Romero. I am very happy to have you here with me, this time very well accompanied, and already tell me here you were seeing pregnancy week after week and you're still here with me. You did not abandon me. You do not abandon me. There is not much content here in the Almanac for you. But now it is time to talk about this most beautiful thing, this cute world that is in your lap, your little beauty who completed 4 months. Did you know he already knows his name? He called his name. He's already starting to react. He's already starting to look what a lot. Another really cool thing that happens now around 4 months is the strengthening of the waist muscle. You mean you can stand a little baby now? No, because if I say yes, Aunt Anna from Helper here said that in a little while she will come here to give us tips. Fight with me and you for the sake of your baby. So no, it's not time to leave the baby, but it makes him move even better. But don't worry, I'll talk a little better later together with Aunt Anna. Who says discoveries end there? Now he is already discovering his little foot. Last month he was reaching his little knees. Now he already reaches his foot. Calm down, he probably won't put it in his mouth yet. And if he hasn't discovered your little feet yet, you can help yourself. Take the little foot to the baby's hand and let him find out. His feet are tactile too, right? He likes to feel his hand and foot at the same time. That's where the senses of touch are most developed, and they love these games. And you know what he loves to sing? He's already vocalizing the syllables. Hence those videos we see on the networks, right? The kids say some things. Usually when they speak, they are vocalizing and a word ends up coming out that we think is that or not. Or do you already know what it is? You know, this kid is pretty precocious, see? But she is already vocalizing. She can already start repeating some words. So now you can also start stimulating mom, dad. The more you move your mouth, show her the movement you make to come out that sound, the easier it will be for her to be able to reproduce because she will imitate you. Children learn a lot by repetition, a lot by imitation. And this also goes until they grow up. There is no point in telling our children. We have to be examples for our children. You're already practicing this. This will last for a long time. Another little word that they also already know is a word that we should already be starting to speak. He didn't say no. This child already knows what it is. We already say no when they are pulling something, when they try to catch something, and it's not a bad word, okay? It's a word that can save lives, so it's not a bad word. Just like not letting your child catch a dangerous object and generate frustration, crying is also not a bad cry, okay? It's a cry of learning that he won't be able to have everything he wants. Unfortunately, the world is not made to adapt to our needs. It is made for us to adapt, so we will. Our children, that they have to adapt to the rules, whether they can pick up something or not, to do something or not, in learning, as I said, forever. But who says all this is bad? You know something even better? So I'll give it to you if you didn't like the previous one I told you about. Laugh in the comments too. Did your puppy start laughing? If it hasn't already started, soon the laughter begins and they can start with anything. A joke, a noise 11 is a movement that you do. All this can start to provoke laughter in the baby. And the time that this wonderful toothless smile makes all the problems in the world, if solved, we just want to know that, right? You want to see the smile, the child laughing, and illuminates our lives. Ah, what delight is the laughter of a child I love. I'm sure you love it even more when it comes from our children. But this child is smart. She knows that she wins you with laughter, but she knows that she wins your attention when she coughs. And the time that the child starts coughing to get attention, it's not that she's choking, it's that she has a cold. She coughs because she knows that she wins your attention with this. She's testing the environments in which she lives. That's too much, huh? And there's more cool stuff happening now. Bath time is even more hectic. They hit the water, throw water up, make a watering pot. It's a party, and it's really cool that you turn these bath moments into moments in connection with your baby. Sometimes we're so tired, aren't we? You still have to give the baby a bath. We are exhausted, but calm down, breathe, prepare, and go. Because often this will be your best moment of the day, especially when he goes to school, you start working. When this process begins, bath time becomes sacred for the family, so you are already preparing that this is a very, very special moment. And that moment can also be special with dad, with his support network. Whoever gives it a bath will get that special moment. And he also lives with these people he already loves. And now I'm going to give you another really cool tip. Have you ever put your child in front of a mirror? They love to see your reflection in the mirror. And if you position your little baby, right, sitting on the floor with a mirror in front, that there is no risk of this mirror falling, but that it is also well supported so that it does not fall either. You will find that he will love this game. They like to discover themselves, to see their reflection in the mirror, and they love it. When we appear in the reflection, we can play the joke of "Achu pelo reflexo." He looks at us through the reflection of the mirror is a reinvention of the game of he thought it was too much. Very cool and interesting because they already know where you are. Even by reflex, he will be able to turn and look at you. He is teaching coordination. He is teaching hearing. He is paying attention to everything that contributes to the baby's development. So play for Chu in front of the mirror. You will like it too. Last month, I already gave you some tips about sleep routines, so I won't tell you these routines. If you want, there is a video just about it here on the card. But it is also important to talk about the baby's naps. We won't just talk about the time the baby is awake during the day. He also needs naps. And now that he has entered this 4th month of life, the need for naps decreases. But he still needs at least 1 nap in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. And there is this table that I am leaving here for you about naps that is there on my Instagram. Then it goes there for you to follow. You don't need to print it on the screen. All these images, these infographics that appear here are there on my Instagram for, are you okay? But look how interesting. How much is he getting more and more awake? The more he's awake, the more he's interested, the more he interacts, and the more he sleeps at night. The evening hours start to get longer, and he needs more time to rest, and so are we. And it is with 4 months of life that if the baby will receive 4 vaccines. Remembering that I'm only talking about the vaccines in the SUS 2022 vaccination calendar, okay? There are other vaccines that we can also apply in the private network, but this is only for the public network. And it's time to take the 2nd dose of pentavalent, which is against diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, hepatitis B, hemophilia, influenza AI type B. Also the 2nd dose of VIP, which is against poliomyelitis. Critical is infantile paresia. The 2nd dose of 10-valent pneumococcal, which is for invasive diseases and acute otitis media caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae. And finally, the 2nd dose of human rotavirus VOR, which is against diarrhea caused by rotavirus. There are 4 vaccines he will suffer less than in the 2nd month, which in the 2nd month has many more reactions. Like the 2nd doses, he'll have fewer reactions, okay? Despite being a lot of vaccines, it is very important to vaccinate our children, okay? It's better for him to suffer for 1, at most 2 days due to the vaccination, than to have consequences for his whole life. Okay then, vaccine? Yes. Your child does not forget to take the vaccination booklet so that they have all the controls and opt out of all the vaccines he takes in my care tips this month. I'm going to keep saying the same things, which are the most important things, okay? First of all, there is no need to let him drink alone in the changing room or in bed. They can already roll and cause an accident. When you are going to transport the child in the car, you have to be in the car seat well installed. It is not meant to be on your lap. This is for safety, it is for life, preserving the lives of our children. You never know when an accident can happen, and I'm not even talking about a crash, a break is enough. And finally, keep the baby's hand always clean and avoid as much as possible that other people put their hand on his hand, because he will take his hand to the mouth that he has nearby. He will, so pay special attention, including the toys, okay? Since he drools a lot, we end up putting some toys for him to bite. There's a video here talking about this foamy saliva he's dropping. Oh, there's a video about that here for you. So we always have to keep it as hygienic as we can. I know we can't protect everything, but we have to protect as much as we can, because we are talking about the health of our children. Speaking of health, will he now enter daycare or nursery, or will he hire a nanny? Are you going back to work? Tell me how this programming is going. I know that when we start choosing a school for our children, for us to go back to work, I went through that. What anguish. We have to observe school hygiene, attention, talk to other mothers to find out what the main complaints and compliments are. The professionals we will have contact with are, right, important steps so that we can, right, go back to work. With peace of mind, knowing that our children are well taken care of. One thing, no matter how good the school is, we can't avoid it. Child attending school. She has at least 10 to 13 episodes of viruses, flu and colds per year. It's a high number, I know that. And it's because she's coming into contact with viruses and bacteria that aren't part of your home, but she's carrying it too, okay? So at the same time that it has contact with new ones, it also leads to new ones. We have some viruses and bacteria that are inside our home, right? So we end up transporting it back and forth. There's this bad part, but there's a good part, okay? Children who attend school tend to develop faster, right? Fine motor coordination develops better. Why? Because these schools, they offer adequate stimuli, right? Are they all very well accompanied, whether in public or in private? Stimuli for the child to develop. And for example, how much sand will you have in your home for the child to play? I know mom who does this with it, but most don't. I'm one of those who don't. Then they will offer many materials of different textures for the development of your child. So don't think negatively. Think about what he will gain from living with more children. Then we won't have all these children at home. From being familiar with other people taking care of him is also important. He will also learn about discipline, about schedules, about games that don't have a home, new songs. So there's a lot. I learned use too. And about this emotional preparation for you, I will talk after our special visit, and I will have to call. Wait a minute, Aunt Anna, where are you? Welcome, Aunt Anne.
Look here again with you. Thank you very much. And now we go to the 5th month of the baby's life, or 4th month. And no,
forget to follow Aunt Anna there on Instagram, Helper Kids. Oh, the way it's written here. It's also in the description. It has a lot of cool content. It answers questions, so it runs there to continue. But now she's on loan here. Come on.
So enjoy and take all your doubts that I am here. But also, if you need, I am on Instagram.
Aunt Anna, tell me, my baby has completed 4 months of life, is in the 5th month, has some milestone development, something different he did, a new discovery. What happens?
Like you said, this little baby has now found his feet. So we start to see a lot of this hand-eye coordination along with this little foot. And the babies you haven't found yet, don't freak out. They are going to put colorful toys with animals, play with this little foot, bringing it more close to this little hand that Monica also told you. Have these babies started, or have they started making kanunya? They take this little foot, turn the little body to one side, turn the little body to the other. What a beautiful thing to see, folks.
But Tatiana, I had commented that there is a strengthening of the waist. This means now that I can put my baby to crawl, right?
No, so belly up, we already talked about this little foot. This baby begins to lateralize more and more and roll, who did not roll there. In the 4th month of life, this baby already rolls more and more with skills and more new learning happening, improving this movement that he is doing. They can already unroll when they are on their tummy down. If they don't, it still calms their hearts, because this movement will arrive and we will play a lot with them in this rolling movement when they are on their tummy down. Now you will see that beautiful pupilongo that he pushes the ground a lot. His arm is well stretched and this trunk rises more and more as it goes up.
A lot.
Next month, but now you see this trunk up there and this little baby pivots that is on its belly down, which we have already talked about. He turns the clock and more.
Does the baby show a preference for being right-handed or left-handed?
No, we will only be able to say this around the age of 4. So now baby has no preference. They can do it with both their right hand and their left hand. And at this stage, we will start sitting the babies.
You wanted to sit the baby up earlier, didn't you? Before they had to be close by. Now they will start talking and falling. Now the belt is tighter.
He's got a trunk, right? He has trunk control, more trunk balance, and is improving more and more. So at this stage, we will put these babies sitting on the floor. Now, yes, we will be able to sit on the floor so we can play with support behind the breastfeeding cushion, which we can use, or with other cushions behind the back of the sofa, right? In that corner of the sofa, in the middle of your leg, which is an activity. It's super cool because this baby can have support both from the sides and back, and then we put the objects in front. So remember the toys being a little taller for these babies to explore, but he still needs support. Oh, Aunt Anne, but you have some babies. My baby doesn't need it anymore. Okay, that rule we said about rhythm, okay, but we're talking. In the vast majority then, this little baby plays with the support, lets it go ahead, fetch the object and come back. So many mothers worry, Monica, because the baby goes too far in front and supports the little hand. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They go in front, support their little hand, start taking their little hands to get these objects and gain more control of.
Trunk, they're already changing hand objects. Here, here.
Some babies are already capable of doing this, but they pick up an object a lot, right? Two, and make this exchange.
And if the tiny baby is born prematurely, Tiana, he's already reached this milestone.
We have to remember to correct gestational age. It may be that in some skills, this baby already does what he needs to do with 5 months of life or not. So always remember to correct. If he is 3 months old, we will look at the 3rd month.
That 3 months would be the month he would turn 40 weeks, okay? Probable date of birth. From then on, we will count an extreme premature. It can take him up to 2 years to achieve, right? Exactly. So let's lower our expectations a little bit and observe many milestones. Even if this baby is not doing anything today, he continues to gain skills. He continues to develop more, and this is important for us to monitor. Although we say that each child has their time, it is important to monitor how much he continues to develop or has regressed, and always talk to the pediatrician if you notice anything different.
And this line is very common. Every child has his time. Remembering that we already said this in another video for a while, so it's not released. Random time, okay guys, everything has a window of opportunity, a window of development, and that's what we'll always be.
Look, we're not going to wait for a child to be 7 years old to speak, for example, right? Expected by speak within a window, it may delay a little, it may advance a little. That's why we say you have time, and that's why we have to follow every milestone and are always going to all appointments with the pediatrician.
And at this stage, it is also important, Monica, that we remember that it is not, because we placed the baby sitting with support, which is now the posture that we have to maintain most of the time. We don't remember that he has to improve this roll, he has to improve this pivot, he has to get faster, he has to better master all the movements he makes, lift this arm more, lift this trunk more, catch this little foot, then he will catch it. Have you seen how cute it is when they take the little foot? How much they bend their whole little body when they are on their belly down, how much they extend this little body. Look what beautiful nature it is. It's magical, people. It's beautiful to see. So note that the postures are still stimuli for activities, tummy up, tummy down, and on the side. And then the baby goes there improving everything he's ever done. And this learning gets better and better to turn into the next phase of the next month, which is an expected month.
Diana still needs to put a baby to sleep on his stomach, although he spins at night.
When the baby already has this mastery of rolling, turning, and unturning, parents end up feeling calmer, but there are many families who are not yet reassured and prefer the baby to lie on his tummy. But it's going to be a little harder for you to be able to maintain because they start to put themselves in the postures themselves. So always calm down. Look, see if everything is okay with the baby, and then we calm our hearts.
Yes, you can put your baby on its tummy if you are more comfortable, but if by chance you noticed here from the side he is getting quieter, you can let him because he can already make this return himself, okay? So if he's uncomfortable in any way, he'll change like us overnight. Many of the movements are still without much control. They don't have that coordination, even though we would like them to have, right? But don't worry, it has to be time. He'll get there soon. So Even though he doesn't have it, he can already find comfortable positions. So in the crib is not to leave a cuckoo crib, is not to leave pillow. They do not need pillow until 2 years of age, thus leaves a transitional object. It is important for them to feel safe and sleep better, but it is also important that we take care that it is an airy place with the right temperature. So I smoke these things from the past, and we don't like cigars to sleep, just to fall asleep properly.
Good.
Now that he has reached his 5th month of life, Aunt Anne, he has lost some primitive reflexes. He didn't lose Moro's reflex, those little snubs.
We hope that this baby will no longer perform because he has already integrated by then. Practically all of the baby's reflexes are already integrated, so we will no longer observe several of them at one. Some still predominate that will disappear now over the next 6 months, but the vast majority of primitive reflexes have already integrated.
As for example, he must have lost the ability to put things in pieces while walking in the first weeks of life. In fact, there are some people who think that the baby is super accelerated, that a little month puts him on his stomach. He's already starting to crawl, like I'm crawling this, also the primitive reflex, and they need to lose that reflex to learn to do it in a coordinated way. But these are reflexes that we have, like for example, from suction, but you don't lose from suction, okay? And the 4-month-old baby, right, who turned 4 months old. Are there any warning signs, Tiana, that we need to observe something that this child must be doing, that she needs guidance? We need to see a pediatrician.
So we will always remember cervical control, so the little baby has to control that head very well. The baby can't be that baby squishy, or that very hard, very rigid baby. He can't have any upper torso control. That baby you put is all soft, all loose, so these are extremely important things. In addition to eye contact, this baby who doesn't follow the caregivers, right? The father, mother, or other people who are there looking after him, that is always very important. If you pay attention to this and seek help whenever you observe, don't wait. All we want is for the baby to arrive first, so that we can assist all families in need.
Are you still with me? Aunt Anna is going to say it. Today's conversation is with you. The first part is about your emotional decision to place the baby in daycare, school, hire a nanny, or leave it with your mother or someone you trust. I know it's not real. Everybody. Some are going back to work, others are already working from home, others are already working. But if you fit that profile, right, that you're going to have to leave this child, your son, in the care of other people. As much as you feel this is a painful sacrifice for you, remember that financially you will have more stability, much greater to take care of your child. You will sometimes provide him with a better school, sometimes a reassurance that there will be food in the refrigerator, that you will be able to provide your child with a better future. And when we show our children that work is not a sacrifice, it is not a penalty, but work is a consequence. We will work in life, we will conquer in life. They will also have a better relationship with work. They won't face it as a punishment, they will face it as a part of their future, and that will provide for them as well. A better quality of life. Then think fondly about your work. What do you like to do? If by any chance you are thinking about changing careers, if you structure and think with great affection, I will speak from my own experience. When I decided to open the Parents' Almanac, I was almost 2 years without any income, depending only on my husband. So we worked hard for me to make this decision. It's a difficult decision, isn't it? It's no guarantee of success. So if you have a job, want to continue in it, or are in doubt, think fondly and remember that financial difficulties, I know they exist, but you can avoid them. This will bring you more tranquility, and also tranquility to take care of your child. And if he is going to stay with the grandmother, with the aunt, with the nanny, pass the guidelines well the way you are needing him to be careful how he should act if he has an emergency. Leave the emergency contacts always with as.s a person, one of a pediatrician, the address of the hospital you want him to go, insurance card, if any, vaccination card is also important. Often this person will have to take it, right, for one to vaccinate. So keep an eye on the campaigns, and none of this will diminish your bond with your son. Because what matters is not the time, it's the quality of time you spend with him. If you started working for a whole day, right, you're thinking that you're going to go the whole day without seeing your son when you see each other. It's going to be so delicious. It's going to be so special. You will have a different energy to take care of your child. As tired as you are, you will be tired of the work, not his. You may be angry about something at work, not him. So this quality of your moment is also very important. So don't forget about yourself. Don't forget that you're not just a mother, okay? You are a mother. You are a professional, you are a friend, you have your hobbies, so take care of yourself, take care of your child, and for you to be able to take good care of him, and you need to be well too. I wish you a beautiful motherhood. Tell me your biggest challenges. If you want me to delve deeper into any of the subjects that are here, or that Aunt Anna also delves deeper, put in the comments that I'm always watching. Don't forget my like, and I'll see you in the next video.